Hi there guys, and welcome to our continuation of looking at our devotional series on the Beatitudes and Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, where he is taking time out. He's called his disciples to himself and he is busy teaching them about life as followers of Christ and life in the kingdom. So what we see here is Jesus takes some time to address some of the underlying principles of some of the Old Testament laws. There are some cases in which a person could obey the letter of the law but still be guilty of breaking the principle. The Pharisees and the teachers of the law, they were experts at keeping the letter of the law. But Jesus warns his hearers, and he makes a statement. He says that unless their righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, they will never enter the kingdom of heaven. We find that in Matthew chapter 5 verse 20. Wow, what a statement to make by Jesus. And I think that the hearers must have been absolutely shocked when they heard these words coming out of the mouth of Jesus, because these were the people that were held in highest regard. These were the people who obeyed the law to the last letter. They were the example of those who best obeyed the law. But Jesus points out that technical obedience is not enough if the spirit of the law is broken. So in Matthew 5:21-22, Jesus teaches that it is not enough to be technically innocent of murder, because one can have murderous thoughts and attitudes towards without carrying out the physical act. In Matthew 5:27-28, Jesus says it is not enough to be technically innocent of adultery, because a lustful look destroys one's purity of thought. And then we see in Matthew 5:31-32, Jesus teaches that divorcing a wife for an inadequate reason, even when the proper paperwork is filed, may not be a legitimate divorce in God's eyes. Now, Jesus moves on to the next topic, and he's talking about speaking the truth. So we see in Numbers 30 verse 1-2, Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes of the people of Israel, saying, "This is what the Lord has commanded. If a man vows a vow to the Lord, or swears an oath to bind himself by a pledge, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth." Now with that in mind, in Numbers 30, where God gave that command considering vows, now Jesus, remembering what was said in the Old Testament, is going to make a statement when it comes to us taking vows. And so please, we're going to read together in Matthew 5:33-37. "Again you have heard that it was said to those of old, 'You shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn.' But I say to you, do not take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. And do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let what you say simply be yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil." And so what we see in the Old Testament, people would take an oath, and they would swear by things like heaven, they would swear by things like things on earth or by Jerusalem, and making these statements and swearing by these would not completely bind them. It was kind of a loophole in the system. So if you swore by anything other than by God, you could kind of get off from your oath. But once you said, "I swear by God," then that oath was binding. But here God is encouraging these followers in his Sermon on the Mount to not make an oath at all. He said to them, you are not to take an oath at all. They should simply live by the following principle. And this is a very good lesson for us. Let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. You see, we live in this world where ongoingly, everywhere, people overpromise and under-delivers in most of the areas of life. But Jesus is saying to here, for us, for his disciples and for us today, we are called upon to be a people who speak the truth. And so we are encouraged in this to make every effort to simply say yes or no and stick to it without compromising. And so we will be good ambassadors of Jesus Christ.